Chad Markx, better known on YouTube as Blood on the Razor Wire, is more than just another prison storyteller. He's one of the founding voices of the prison content movement, a man who turned decades behind bars into one of the most raw and respected redemption arcs on YouTube. Sentenced to 40 years in federal prison, Markx transformed his sentence into a mission to expose corruption, advocate for reform, and teach inmates and viewers about the realities of the system that once held him captive. In a rare handwritten court letter dated September 28, 2015, sent from FCI Raybrook, Markx pleads with the U.S. District Court in Rochester, New York, to accept his 28 U.S.C. Prabor 2255 petition, a last resort motion used by federal inmates to challenge their convictions or sentences. What stands out is not just the motion itself, but the fear behind the ink. Markx explains that he had to handwrite the petition because typing it would expose him to retaliation. Inmates, he wrote, would see him typing things about cooperating with law enforcement, which could place him in serious danger. He even requested the court to file his petition under seal, warning that any public reference to his cooperation could lead to him being seriously assaulted inside prison.
Okay, this is an insane thing because I think the feds were supposed to seal this paperwork too. So when Chad Markx put this motion in, he said to seal everything involving him cooperating with the police, even this letter that's a motion. All of this was supposed to be sealed. That's was a loophole. And honestly, we would have never known none of this. Now, how is people going to perceive? How are they going to look at him? I don't think anybody looks at him any differently, but let's just go back to what he was saying on Ian Bick, because the book that he put out doesn't have this in there. All his interviews doesn't have this in there, and this is part of his story. So why is it left out? You know what I'm saying? And I think that he has to address this now.
Or you're going to end up dead. That's it. She didn't say prison. She said you're going to end up dead, or you're going to kill somebody. And that year I ended up in prison. So you could say I was dead. I ended up with a 40-year prison sentence.
Which is basically like a life-ending blow at that point. You're 20 years old, and 40 years, that's a long time. Even good time aside and whatever, you're still doing, 35 years on that?
Yeah, 100%.
Whatever it is.
About 34 years and some change.
Day of sentencing, what's that like? You're in federal court about to be sentenced.
So I hire a new attorney out of Buffalo, Thomas Theophilus, great guy. He comes in the back, he says, look, man, he said, you're probably getting 60 years today. He said, I don't think he's going to give you life, but he's going to give you 60 years. And I'm like, well, dude, 60 years, I'll be like, I'm not going to make it out anyway. But we go in there and he makes a bunch of arguments and he argues for the mandatory minimum. The mandatory minimum's 40 years.
So you went into that courtroom knowing you were at 40?
Yeah, that was my mandatory minimum.
Wow.
Mandatory minimum was 40 years. So that was violence in the case. I was convicted of a nonviolent crime, but there was violence in the case. He said, it's hard for me not to give you life. He said, but I'm going to act in a moment of compassion and I'm going to give you the mandatory minimum for the sake of your mother.
Did you speak during sentencing?
Not really, no. I did. I said something about how the government was, giving one of the co-defendants, a plea deal when, he was the dude that lit this dude on fire in my case and hit someone in the head with a 2x4. He pistol whipped people in the case. I said, but if I'm getting 40 years, then we all should get 40, right?
On that?
Oh, I want to finish that. Though.
Okay. Yeah,
so your viewers don't misinterpret what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm already convicted. He already testified at my trial. He was on the stand for like 5 days. And that's why I said what I said. I said, if I'm getting 40, we should all get 40. But these are the people that the government gives deals to. You talk about you want to protect the public and this and that. And, you're banging me with the 40. And this dude lit people on fire in the case, but because he cooperated, he gets a 10-year sentence or 9-year sentence.
In Fed time, you get floated around, correct?
Yeah, 100%, Matt. At the age of 24, I was sentenced to 40 years for a nonviolent drug crime. Went to federal prison. Pretty much I was stuck there, man. But they passed the First Step Act when Donald Trump was the president, and I was able to get out on compassionate release. The judge said that I was rehabilitated, changed my life. And after almost 18 years, the judge released me.
So I'm not saying that he actually testified in his case originally that got him 40 years, because this letter is in 2015. Something happened while he was in prison for him to cooperate with law enforcement for this to be written. The biggest red flag that I read in this letter was saying that he is cooperating with law enforcement. And this is years down the line. And then he got out 4 or 5 years later after this letter was written, just for the facts out there. Now, I'm not going to call him out of his name. I'm going to let you decide, and I'm going to let the street people decide what they think of Chad Markx Blood on the Razor Wire. And speaking of that, I went and grabbed Pino, because who is better when it comes to breaking down this prison paperwork, the subjectiveness of snitching, Let's get to it. All right, man. New Age Plug. You did it again. You already know what it is. We got Pino in the building, straight from Broward. How you doing, man?
Yo,
Hey, bro. We got so a lot of stuff's on the desk right now. You know, we see we see the filing cabinets getting full, bro. A lot of stuff's coming forward. A lot of things coming to the light. The prison drawing is about to get shook up, upside down. So, blood on the razor wire paperwork came out, man.
oh,
Chad Markx, man. Chad Markx, man.
so what kind of paperwork are we talking about?
I sent it to you. Did you have a chance to read it?
I did read it. It's not too good, brother.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's take 5 for you to read it one more time, and we'll come back.
All right.
So after reading it, what do you think? Like, can this be spun? You know how everyone spins everything. You know what I mean? Can this be spun?
This can't be spun. I'm sorry. Listen. It's too wild to be spun, bro. He jumped on a handwritten letter, handwritten by himself, not by anybody else. This wasn't written by the courts. This wasn't written by a lawyer. This was written by Chad himself.
But Chad is a lawyer.
A convicted felon as a lawyer?
But he's a jailhouse lawyer. That's his whole thing. But this is
I
the
wouldn't
thing.
hire him.
The key words in there. The key words in there is being in fear for your life. For even you're not supposed to be doing it because he's saying it in the letter. You know, like if they that's why I'm writing this, because if I put it on the computer, the inmates are gonna know that I'm putting it on the computer, and I just wish you would seal everything so no one sees what's going on. And he said cooperating with law enforcement. What does that mean, bro? It was part of his pension to get
I mean,
out.
obviously he cooperated with law enforcement somewhere down the line in his case. I don't know the extent of him cooperating with law enforcement, but these are his words himself. These are not our words. These are not a lawyer's words, a state attorney's words, a judge's words. This is not the stenographer. This is his words, handwritten by him, saying that he was cooperating with law enforcement. Now, what's the kicker is the cases that he's speaking on of him cooperating with law enforcement are under seal.
Yeah, so
So
everything's sealed, but this paper, it's like they almost forgot to seal this motion.
you literally found a loophole in their system. I'm pretty sure Chad did not expect this paper. See, he filed everything under a seal, but he forgot to put the motion under a seal. The handwritten motion that he wrote himself, where he said he cooperated with law enforcement and that people are going to take him out in the prison system if they find out. So he didn't want it on the Westlaw website. He didn't want it on the clerk of courts. He didn't want it anywhere that was accessible to another inmate, because they know if they would have accessed that information, I don't know the extent of his cooperation, but if another inmate would have accessed that information, obviously it was some pretty crazy cooperation.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it one more time, man. I'm gonna read it one more time, and we're gonna do a conclusion on this. Please find my enclosed pension, 2255 pension. And what petition? What is that? Is that an appeal?
A petition is basically his motion to seal, his enclosed motion to seal. That's his petition. So anytime you as a party strike up a complaint or something, it's your petition.
Okay. I apologize that this is handwritten. Due to the content, I am unable to type it. If the other inmates see me typing things about cooperating with law enforcement, this could place me in serious danger. I was able to write in my cell alone these lines. I am requesting for my safety that this petition be filed under seal, and any and all decisions related to such. So he actually did say, bro, in this letter, he actually wanted, he basically said this needs to be sealed too.
This is a little different than, like, a grievance situation or something along the lines. This is a handwritten letter by him that slipped through the cracks. Everything else got sealed. This happened to slip through the cracks. And honestly, Plug, this is like the worst thing that could slip through the crack, because this is letting everybody know that you cooperated in some type of way in your case, and you don't want nobody to come get you. This is letting everybody know you cooperated. Not only that, like I said, the nail in the coffin is the fact that you sealed the cases we're speaking about.
The craziest part, he would have been fine, but he put one thing in here that makes it whole all come together. He says thing about cooperating with law enforcement. So what is the cooperation?
Well, we won't know because he put that case under a seal. It could be anything from him getting people arrested on the street, pertaining to the crimes that he committed, or it could be him just helping law enforcement with information. Or it could be him as a confidential informant, like a CI. So either case, any of the three, it's all bad. And this is my thing. I'm tired of Chad Markx, along with many other, have spoken on snitching, have spoken on telling, have spoken on interrogations and paperwork and all that. I'm so tired of the prison genre always surprising us. Well, it's not even a surprise no more. With somebody who's snitching or on paperwork, we don't want to hear anybody from now on talk about snitching or ratting or anything unless we've seen what you went to prison for.
Let me ask you, Pino, what about people that would be saying right now, hey, well, Pino, you did a form of cooperation, right? But is it the same level as what this is? Because I've heard other people saying, the 1090J grievance is even on a worse level because people are actually getting in trouble for something you're saying. So, all right,
Well,
go
Chad
ahead.
Markx, people are actually getting in trouble for what he's saying because, I mean, honestly, we don't know. We don't know if he put somebody in prison for 55 years. We won't know because he sealed the case that he cooperated on.
It's insane, bro. We would
He could
never
have
known.
easily put somebody under the jail and we don't know about it. But the thing is there's no level. When it comes to snitching, this is the problem with YouTube, is there is no goalpost. You either snitched or you fucking didn't. There is no goalpost when it comes to snitching, and I'm tired of people throwing a goalpost in there. Oh, but he spun the cops. Oh, but he lied about the situation. Oh, but he had a fall man. Oh, but he told me to write the grievance. We were in agreement with writing a grievance. Like, I'm so tired of the goalpost being moved. We don't want to hear shit from you in this genre anymore unless your paperwork is on the table and we can read you like an open book.
Does this because Blood on a Razor Wire has done a lot for his community, he's done a lot for YouTube. Do you look at him different? Does the people look at him different? And can he still get over this little small, and I don't even know if this is a hump, and you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how people even looked at him because was he Irish pride, right? He's like he is part of in the feds he was rolling in a car. So there, obviously he was even talking about in the letter, like the guys are going to hurt me if they see. So obviously there's some politics there, right? So
definitely some politics there. Definitely. He was in fear of getting hurt by I don't know if it was by his own people or other people, but he was in fear of getting hurt if people accessed his case. So that means he went to the penitentiary and lied about his case to every single person he came in contact with. Because how do you sit down with your Irish gang brothers and explain that you cooperated?
where's Ronnie Blue when you need him? Get the clovers. All right, man. So this is just one of many coming. Salute to Pino. Appreciate your commentary. YouTube Streets Podcast.
Yes, sir.